Strap in, boys, because we're going to have to give our real thoughts about something for once.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
What exactly are your honest thoughts on the Tokusatsu fan base? No bullshitting, just honesty. Chad?
Well, going to me first, eh?
You knew I was.
Huh. Yeah, then again, you did kind of clue me in on that question earlier
I
today,
did.
so,
I did. I told you, put the cup on, bro. It's going to get hard.
Yeah. I mean, for what it is honestly, I'd say it's a very mixed bag. Because just being able to kind of experience and meet so many people that are actually very passionate about this genre of entertainment, like, for crying out loud, Jay and AJ can also speak to this as well. We met some really, really cool people at Anime Expo that were super hyped, super pumped for, well, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and just the fact that it's all coming to the States. And I see nothing wrong with that passion. However, in terms of the actual fandom and I guess some of the people leading it in that regard, it does make me kind of wonder in some cases. Because from what I could tell, I can definitely see that some of these, I guess, people leading in, I guess, whether that be Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, or whatever, really, like, those who know what they're doing, and they won't make a big stint about it. Like, if anything, like, they're not gonna be, like, lording over people saying, like, hey, I know this, and, like, basically push up their glasses super nerdily and shit like that. Or, I mean, you can see that on Facebook, but that's neither here nor there. But I think, especially, like, since the platform for communication has really switched to, especially Twitter nowadays, I think the ones leading the charge on Twitter, I think this is just going to be my criticism, need to do their actual research.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fine to say, like, oh yeah, so-and-so writer's my favorite, but, like, okay, that's fine, that's cool, you like him. But I think if you're going to be trying to persuade someone on, like, a genre, or, like, talking about the genre itself, I think that, one, you need to do your research, know what you're talking about, instead of coming up with all sorts of bullshit theories, or just coming up with opinions or saying things like, oh, well, this sucks, and, I don't know, not have any, I guess, backing knowledge to say why, per se. And I think the main thing of this is that it's, again, like I said, it's a mixed bag. It is neither good nor bad. It is literally what it is. Personally, if I were to be honest, I try and stay as far away as possible, just watch from a distance. I'm personally not a fan of myself of those leading it for various reasons that I will just not go into. But I think it is in an equally good, but also very, very dangerous / cautious place. Because you have people even saying, like, by the way, here's where you watch these shows, when we know that Japan is watching, Japan knows that we do these things, and if they know that we do these things, that'll force their hand, and we don't want that. Again, for the people in the back, do not tell these things to Japan, do not even post videos about it. You can maybe DM someone if someone really asks, but also at the same time, do not make it public because Japan already knows. And if they fucking know, they're gonna take action. But anyways, rant aside, I like the fact that there are more fans coming around to Tokusatsu, but at the same time, I am cautiously, very cautiously, just kind of not a fan of who's leading it. But, I don't know, long story short, that's my answer.
Phil?
Well, I've met a lot of
I've also met a lot of fans of Toku who are really, really passionate about it. Some that are, one or two of them that are very nitpicky about certain things. But I've been to cons myself where I've met people who, you know, they don't go super into, like, they don't say like that. This is like, oh, this is like the greatest thing ever, and you gotta like it and stuff. Blah 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 blah. They're actually not like that. We actually just like are like, hey, how's it going? And they're like, if you're wearing a Toku costume and they also are, they'll acknowledge you and just be like, nice costume. But I'll say this, I'm getting really annoyed with the fans who really just want to be argumentative and don't want to listen to reason other than just like, you have to like my show because it's my show and I'm the definitive reason. It's like, no, because everybody has a differing opinion when it comes to that stuff. You're gonna have people who will agree with you, yes, but you're gonna also have people that disagree with you. Now, either you can work with the people that disagree with you and be like, hey, you know what? You're right. You're right. I mean, you have your points, I have my points, but I'm not going to let that affect my opinion of you. But then you've got fans like one in particular who will not be mentioned, who basically cry foul that your opinion differs from them, and they basically start bad mouthing you. And I'm like, that's not cool. That's not cool. Like, even Chad said it. Japan is watching us, and if we want to get more stuff, if we want more support, show them that you like this stuff and can work with everybody. Not what you want, because that's what you, and you know who you are. You know what I'm talking about. It needs to stop.
Jay.
Excuse me. I would, for the most part, agree with Chad's sentiments, where it depends on where you go and depends on the certain forums that you find discussion in. But there are, on an individual level, a lot of people who are very interesting to talk to, have very insightful opinions, and have a great appreciation for this franchise. And many majority of my friendships outside of the show and just generally have been met through those environments. So it is something where it is very easy to form a long-lasting bond through it. But depending on where you go and depending on the general climate of that forum, you start to get a lot of really fucking asinine or just obnoxious and just kind of stupid people who have, I don't even want to say like on an opinionated level, like bad opinion or anything, and just make the most completely low IQ takes about every single thing. And even that, like, that's an individual level. You can ignore that for the most part. You know, you get lumped in with that just kind of by association, and that's one thing. You got to deal with that in every fan base. But much like what Chad said, the individuals who have unfortunately been marked as the leaders, quote unquote, of the fan base in the West are people who just kind of don't really get it. They don't understand the weight their words hold. They don't understand their actions. And not even just necessarily them. Like, a lot of people who don't seem to realize that they have a spotlight on them do a lot of really just kind of fucking brainless things. Or are bullshit grifters who only do the things they do because they want to be the ones calling the shots. They want to be at the top of the hierarchy no matter what, and they will do and say whatever the fuck they want and raise as much of a havoc as much as they want without considering the consequences of their actions and who's going to see it. They want to be the person who is known for this without realizing that the way they're trying to do it is going to fucking ruin everything for everybody. And it's unfortunately avoidable until you can just finally get a majority to turn on them. But that's not really going to happen. That's getting to fandom politicking, and I really want to go into that. But that's the problem, is that like on a lower level and on an individual level, I like where it is. It's starting to get popular enough and mainstream enough where it's easy to get other people into it. But once you start getting into bigger conglomerations of these kinds of fans, that's when the general quality of discussion and the individuals involved plummet. And it's disappointing, I guess. You would hope that a lot of these things that come up, like Chad, for example, mentioned, not mentioning where to illegally download content, would be something that is very common knowledge, would be very much a no shit, don't do this kind of thing. Like, we all remember we all remember the Trinity incident. I remember that spontaneously earlier today of, don't fucking tell the producers on Twitter where you're getting your fucking catalog leaks from and then showing them that. Like, that kind of just like a no shit Sherlock, don't do this kind of thing. Like, a lot of people, especially ones who have particularly big spotlights, don't seem to know this or don't seem to have learned this lesson and keep doing it. And that makes it difficult, and it makes it frustrating for everybody. So it's a weird predicament where the bigger the collection of the fan base, the worse it gets.
To be fair, like I said, we're all kind of in agreement in the same idea. For me, my biggest issue with this entire fan base is the kind of something like what Jay mentioned, is that there's a lot of people in this fan base who don't realize just how much weight their words can hold, and just how much that can be detrimental to not only newer fans, but even older fans who are very easy to sway. And the thing about that is that all you need is one of these people to say something that completely destroys any chance that this fan base has to show Toei that we know what we can fucking do and that we are respectful enough to have these shows. And again, you can point to any of the incidents. Trinity, again, we've mentioned it like 17 times at this point. The whole Torrington situation, any situation you can point to. I mean, shit, there was legitimately that one time where people were just yelling at Shirakura for something that he couldn't fucking do anything about. He literally couldn't do anything about this because you told on him. So it's like, well, now I can't do anything. But because of that, it shows Toei that, hey, maybe this fucking country's way too much trouble than they're worth. It's way more trouble than they're worth. Because, yeah, they can make money off of us. Yeah, they can bring these shows to us. Yes, they can do this and they can do that. But what does it say when they have to consistently look at, hey, if we bring this here, are they going to know what to do with it? Are they going to, I hate to say it this way, but do they know how to fucking behave? Because, again, look at, again, not naming names, but look at some of the people who are leading the charge of this fan base. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't trust these motherfuckers with a lead pipe. I am floored with how you are even on the fucking same pedestal as some of the people that I know who lead this fan base. And because of that, it makes me think this fan base is kind of doomed because people listen to these people. Too many people listen to the people at the top of this fan base for me to truly say that this fan base is in good hands. Now, like Jay said, on a personal level, yeah, sure. I have met many people, you three, obviously, people we met at Anime Expo, people that I've met on my own time. I've met a lot of people who are into Tokusatsu, who are legitimately personable, rational, cool, fun people to be around. But unfortunately, that is becoming more and more of a minority than a majority. And I hate to say it like that because that does sound hyperbolic, and in a way maybe it might be. But it does seem like it's becoming more of a majority or more of a minority to find people who are level-headed and can just talk about these shows, and it's becoming more often that I find people. I mean, let's take. I'm sorry to go back to this because we mentioned this way earlier. Let's go back to the King Oger stuff. The moment that we mentioned that, like the moment I mentioned and the moment that Jay mentioned he didn't like King Oger, motherfuckers came out of the woodwork to try and fucking shoot us, basically. Like, they fucking hated the fact that we had a different opinion from them. And it was kind of insane because I'm like, these are the people who are making up a majority of our fan base nowadays? Like, that I don't like, and that I'm kind of weary of. Where this goes on from here, I don't know. Where this fan base goes from here, I don't know. But as much as I'm an optimist, I also have to be realistic, and I think that this fan base, if it doesn't change for the better, it's going to get worse. And again, we're not going to name names, but you know who you are. You know what you've said. You know what you've done. You have a responsibility to the people of this fan base to do better. And I know nobody likes saying it that way. I know that's the worst way to say it, but you have to. You have to do better, because if not, you're going to just show Toei what they already know. And that this country, or that at least the Western fan base, is not fucking worth it. So I hope it gets better. I'm not going to be the doomsayer. I don't want to take the black pill per se, but at the same time, it's really hard not to. It's really hard not to take the black pill sometimes with some of these people. And
Oh yeah.
who knows? Again, who knows? Maybe for all I know, it's going to change in the next couple of years. Maybe we'll be the leaders of the No, please don't do that. We don't want that. No, but we don't.
I don't want to be in charge.
I don't want to be in charge of this fucking fan base. Fuck all of you. I hate you all.
You know what, guys? To bring back a point of King Oger, we are just the evil kings, guys. We're going to make sure that this fandom we're going to fix this fandom. We're going to be the necessary evil.
If you hated Don Brothers, we're going to turn this entire fan base into Don Brothers. You don't want us in charge of your fan base. Actually, no, to be fair, we probably would run it better. Into the ground, but we would run it better.
We would run it quicker into the ground, but more spectacularly.
Hey, you know what? It's all about presentation, Jay.
We
all
honestly go
about
down
presentation.
we'd go down like we're riding a nuke down into battle.
So, yeah. So, like I said, I both love and hate this fan base. I love the people that I get to meet on a personal level. I fucking despise the people who are running it. And if the people who are running it hear this, fucking blow me.